Hey, this is Paige Ruderman, and this is the So Rude podcast. Welcome to the show. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the So Rude podcast. My name is Paige Ruderman, and today I am so excited to welcome a special guest to the show. Kyra Morgan is a Nashville-based pop singer and songwriter known for her captivating and authentic storytelling through music. With a distinct voice that blends emotional vulnerability with powerful melodies, Kyra's music explores relatable themes of love, self-discovery, heartbreak, and resilience. As a true storyteller, her lyrics paint vivid pictures that deeply connect with listeners, pulling them into her world with every song. I met Kyra earlier this year at the very first Popville writing camp called Camp Popville back in February. I am so excited to dig into her journey to music, what it's like being a pop artist in Nashville, her newest single, Breaking News, and more. Kyra, welcome to the So Rude podcast. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me today.
I'm so excited to have you. And truly, we have been trying to get this date on the calendar, on the books for a little bit now. So I'm so happy we were finally able to make this happen.
Absolutely, me too.
Well, I know I shared a little bit about your background and your music, but can you tell us anything I may have missed?
Yeah, so I guess a fun fact about me would be I've been writing since I was like 3 years old. My family has a bunch of home videos of me like making up songs about like just things like corn chips, where there was one time I was like singing a song about corn chips to my sister while I was like trying to like force feed them to her. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And so I've just grown up around just kind of venting my feelings through writing in song, and started playing guitar when I was 13, and then finally learned how to put lyrics to chords. So like something that's kind of unique about my writing style is that I don't really need an instrument to write. So that definitely developed very early on because I didn't have anything else to write with besides my brain. So yeah, it's been an adventure, and I'm so happy that it's led me here to Nashville.
That is so cute. Was your family playing a lot of music around the house, or are other people in your family really musical, or did you just kind of gravitate towards songs and melodies and
I would say so. My parents aren't super musical people, but I was always surrounded by music. So a lot of like what I grew up on was like classic rock or like TV shows that had singing in it, like The Wiggles or The Backyardigans. And so I always had a song playing in the back of my head, and my parents did a really good job about like showing us new music and just kind of like exposing us to different varieties of what's out there rather than kind of keeping us in a box as kids, which I think was really important because, especially as an artist now, it allows me to kind of pull from all these different genres and what they have to offer. So, yeah, I'm very thankful for that.
yeah. And what you were saying around not having necessarily an instrument like a guitar or a piano to write stuff with, it really forced you to kind of be really creative with almost no restraint. Like if all I have is my voice and a piece of paper, like what can I create? That is really cool.
Yeah, the amount of times I've shown up to a writing session with just my phone and people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, do y'all not do this too? Like, just me and my phone. They're like, where's your guitar? Where's your instrument? I'm like, okay, it's right here. It's right here. I'll sing for you if you want. But yeah, it's definitely one of my strong suits, especially when I walk into a room, because I'm like, okay, I can already hear the song in my head, so we just need to get it down on paper.
That's really cool. So when you think about collaborators that you enjoy working with, do you enjoy then working with someone who is more instrument focused so that way they can help add almost like a pad of sound to what you already have going on in your brain?
Yeah, so it's very helpful to have a producer in the room, especially during the co-writes that I do, because a lot of the ideas I have, I can hear stuff and I'll be like, hey, like I hear this drum beat, or oh, I hear kind of like the way that this like did this little guitar loop, whatever. and them understanding what I'm trying to say and then actually being able to physically create it is very helpful. Like I had a write the other day, and her name is Julia, but Julia and I wrote to just a straight drum loop because both of us were very like lyric heavy, where we're like, okay, we know our strong suits, we're just gonna pull a drum loop up and we're gonna write to that. So that was definitely a really cool kind of like out of the box write that I had.
I find that fascinating. And for anyone tuning in who maybe also is not super strong on an instrument or doesn't feel comfortable enough to come up with their own sort of chord progression, that's a great idea to write to a drum loop, write to a track that you find online, just something, anything to help the creating process.
Yes, exactly.
And when you were saying, you show up to rights with just your phone, that's so funny. Like, especially here in Nashville, I feel like everyone's walking around with a guitar on their back. Speaking of which, how long have you been in Nashville now?
So I moved up to Nashville in July of 2024. I went to MTSU down in Murfreesboro, so I've been in the Tennessee area since 2020, but really haven't, approached the Nashville scene seriously until last year in July.
Very cool. I would count Murfreesboro as still part, like you were still in the Nashville area, going to school for music. Where are you from originally?
So I'm from Virginia originally, right outside of DC.
Oh my God, nah. I feel like I
Yeah.
did not know that, or if I did know that, then it must have missed that because I'm from Delaware. So we're both up from the Northeast.
Oh yeah. Shoot, I could have driven to you.
We could have had co-writes up there.
Oh my gosh, that is insane. Well, the more you know.
That's too funny. So growing up in Virginia, what was that like? Was there a big like musical crowd and did you get really involved in the music scene up there?
Yeah, so just music scene wise, they do have a few concert venues that I did go to, but it's definitely not like Nashville at all. So, like, if you think, like, oh, I'm gonna go into the city or into DC, yeah, you have some bars that have music, but it's not, there's not a lot of live music going on, which is what prompted me to move to Nashville. But like growing up in school and everything, like I was very involved in choir. I played like violin when I was in fourth grade. I played trumpet in fifth and sixth grade, and then I got into choir in middle school and high school. So like I always had some sort of musical aspect going on in my life. And then once I got into high school, they did have talent shows twice a year, which like definitely pushed me to do my original music. And like the teachers that I had were very, very supportive in that and like would reach out to me and be like, hey, I know you're doing this. So like, come on, audition, show us what you got. And I think that's really like what jump started my love for it and just realizing, oh my gosh, like I could do this as a career. And I just loved it so much where I didn't really think about that because I'm like, okay, like maybe I should pursue a more, I don't know, like a more lucrative path. But hey, once you hit it big in music, it'll be pretty lucrative.
Yeah, there you go. And for you to know that you wanted to go to school for music, it seems like you must have made that decision. You had that dream, you had that path you wanted to follow for since you were young.
Yeah, well, so the funny thing is that I was originally gonna go to school in Virginia, because I didn't really know of any other schools that were public that offered majors such as songwriting. And my dad and I went to, it was like a financial aid meeting, and they talked about this program called the Academic Common Market. And they mentioned MTSU, and my dad looked into it, and he's like, hey, like, you could actually go to this school in Tennessee and get in-state tuition and study songwriting. And I was like, okay, when are we visiting? And I kid you not, we probably went and visited, I think it was like 2 weeks later. And I got admitted into the school like a week after that. So it was a very, very fast turnaround time, but like I knew what I wanted to do. And it was just one of those things where I knew I wasn't going to be happy staying where I was at because I just felt kind of stuck. So that really allowed me to kind of just jump outside of my comfort zone and be like, you know what? I am going to do this. I am going to move 11 hours away from home and figure it out.
Yeah. And kudos to you because moving so far away, especially if you didn't know anyone at the school yet or didn't have family nearby. Like that's so intimidating, especially what 17, 18 years old, just going to college.
Yeah, it was definitely intimidating, but looking back on it, like I wouldn't have done anything else just because I knew that I needed to kind of take that step in order to kind of figure out more about myself and find out what I wanted to do adulthood wise. Um, and yeah, honestly, like I would do it all over again.
That is incredible. And all the cards really had to have aligned for it's like you went to a financial aid meeting, you learn about the school, you check out the school, like it was just like life was kind of putting all those puzzle pieces into place for it to work out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and then of course, like a few months later, COVID hit, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me right now? But, you know, I still had college to look forward to. I had a great time in college, got to study what I wanted, and now I'm here. So it made me the person I am today. So I can't be that upset. But oh my gosh, COVID threw me for a loop.
I can't even imagine. I was out of school by the time I literally finished my grad program spring of 2019. So I know spring of 2020 was when like the world shut down. So I can't even imagine. But kudos to you for like recognizing, hey, you still move forward and everything like that. So growing up, I kind of am just curious because you identify as a pop artist, right? You would say you're in the pop lane. Did you always know you wanted to be a pop artist?
Oh yeah. So I grew up on like Hannah Montana and Selena Gomez and Miley Cyrus and Lady Gaga and just all of those very, very pop artists. And that's always what I loved. Like whenever I wrote a song, it was very pop oriented from the beginning. Where I used to do like showcases with my guitar teacher, and like she would push us to do original songs, and everything I wrote was just straight pop. And honestly, I think it was due to because like that's all I was listening to. So I'm sure if I'd grown up on a little bit more country or a little more R&B, something like that, it would have changed my music taste just a little bit. But I deep down, I'm definitely a pop girly.
I respect it. And I'm also a big fan of pop. And I grew up a lot on like the Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, like that kind of era of just like big pop acts. And so I find that super, super cool. Was going to MTSU, did you? I'm not super familiar with their program. Do they cater more towards country? Are they pretty open when it comes to like the songwriting genres and music types?
Yeah, so I would say that they're very open. Like all of the songwriting classes I took, like I never felt like I had to stay in this country box. Like I even had a songwriting teacher that's based out of LA who like wrote for Christina Aguilera at one point. So like they were very flexible with like what they wanted to offer their students, which was really nice because I never felt like I was limited by any means. And like all the songs I brought to class and that were critiqued, like they were critiqued as songs, not like, oh, we are living in a country area and we're going to judge it like it's a country song. No, it was like, okay, you're bringing us a song. Like, we're going to, get down into the nitty gritty of what are you offering us and then just giving you a perspective on how you can do better.
Super cool. Are there any classes or is there any like class or professor in particular that you still remember to this day as like, I loved that class or I love taking classes with that professor?
Yes, so I had a songwriting practicum class with Jamie Teacher, calling him out. I'll probably send this podcast to him once once it comes out. But his class was so helpful for me because it was one of those things where it wasn't until I took his class where I realized how beneficial editing your like previously written songs were. And so that was the first time like I was pushed outside of my comfort zone and I had to like look at my songs and be like, okay, what can I do better? Why is like this component not working? And all that. And like he would bring in people from the industry to critique our songs. So we're getting like live feedback on kind of what's going right in our songs, what could be, what could be improved upon. And it was just such an eye-opening experience for me because it made me such a better writer. And I just, now I look at my songs so much more critically because I'm like, okay, like I know this can be improved upon. I know that this can be better. Like, where do I start with that? And it really helped me identify kind of like where to start, where to go, and then also kind of when to step back and look at the bigger picture of, okay, does it need to be improved, or am I just being overly critical now because I spent so long critiquing my work?
Wow, that is real. That is such a helpful skill and something that I think a lot of people probably don't practice enough, going back and like going through the lines with a fine-tooth comb, revisiting even the melodies, etc. Um, I'd love to like hear your thoughts on like what are things that like if you're going through your song, what are the things that you notice like, okay, I'd want to change this? Or because I think a lot of people tuning in that are also artists or also writers, like they're not doing this. So if you were to
Yeah.
encourage them to do it, like what would you recommend looking for or looking at?
Honestly, what I start with, like I was in a co-write yesterday and we got the bones of the song down, so we like wrote the verses and the chorus and everything. We were revisiting the verse. And I think it's all about kind of like looking at the story that you're trying to tell and going line by line and being like, okay, does this help further the story along? Does this help, add details to the story that the listener like would want to hear or would be beneficial for them to hear? And is there a way that I could say it better or say it with less words? Because I feel like, sometimes pop music, you can get the really wordy pop songs, or like you can get the pop songs that are very like they don't have a lot of words in them, so you have to figure out how to tell a story with the least amount of words. So it's figuring out just kind of for this story, what is the best course of action to tell it.
Yeah, super powerful. When you're writing songs, do you feel like, do you gravitate towards one part more than the other? Like, do you feel like melodies come to you more quickly? Do you feel like words? Do you like starting with a chorus? Do you like starting with a verse? Like, what's kind of your process?
Yeah, I would say lyrics definitely come first for me. I am slowly getting better at melody, but that is something that I've had to like build upon. So whenever I like hear a song in my head, it's always the lyrics first, and then I go back and I'm like, okay, how do I hear this, or how do I want to hear this? But most of the time, like when I hear something, it's either like the beginning of a verse or the beginning of a chorus. Um, I've seen like certain things where it's like, oh, if you want to challenge yourself, like start with a second verse, and I'm like, that's not how my brain works. Thanks though. So it really depends. And sometimes like yes, I'll write things down and they'll be like better suited in different parts of the song, like a bridge or something, but most of the time it's just like the beginning of a song.
But Kira is being so modest. Your melodies, okay, I've been lucky enough to write with Kira many times. Your melodies are so fun and so creative. So to hear from you that that is an avenue you're working on and you wouldn't
Yeah.
even say that that's like your lane is so cool and surprising to me because I think your melodies are super fresh. So you learn something new every day.
Yes, well, I appreciate hearing that because I have worked hard to, figure out how to come in with like new and fun ideas and just kind of pull things out of thin air.
I love that. So many people, when you're a fan of music and to the point that you want to write your own, you're also like a fan of other people's art. Who are some of the artists or the people you're listening to lately?
Oh my gosh. I've been listening to so much Jessie Murph lately. And I know that's like, she's very like pop country, but like, she does not have a bad song on her new album. Like it's crazy. And I think it's also just because her storytelling is so good. And when I listen to songs, like that's kind of what I gravitate towards is like, okay, does this song have a good story? And most of the time, like that's what appeals to me. I'm trying to think of like who else there. Oh my gosh. What is her name? Hold on. I have to pull out receipts for this because there is like a smaller artist who just released a song, and I've been following her on TikTok. Um, okay, so her name's Avery Cochran. I hope I'm saying that right. but she just released a song called Shape Shifting on a Saturday night. And like, I have been playing it nonstop since it came out because it's so catchy. And it's like one of those things where I'm like, how do more people not know about her?
Yeah.
So I'm like, gotta shout her out. Maybe I'll tag her whenever this whenever this
Yeah, we could
podcast comes
post a
out.
little clip on it. I haven't heard of that song, so I'm excited to check it out. I can even put the link to that song down below in the show notes. That way anybody else that wants to check it out can do
Yes.
so.
Yes, please do. It's so good. I like it's so good. I'm
I'm
speechless.
excited. Truly, some of my favorite songs are recommendations from other people, so I'm also selfishly like help me put new things on my playlist, you know?
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm like, okay, give me more music. I'm here for it.
Speaking of really great music and new music, you are joining us on the heels of your newest release, Breaking News. Tell
Yeah.
us about it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Honestly, where to even start? So, back in January, I went through a breakup. So, yes, Kyra Morgan is single. But, anyways, so the story behind the idea of breaking news was one of my friends had posted about her releasing a new song, and she's like, her caption was like, "Who's ready for the new single?" And I commented, "It's me, I'm the new single." And I like sat with that and I'm like, you know what? That's such a great, just fresh idea. And I feel like as a songwriter, I strive to kind of come up with ideas that haven't really been written about, or at least a way that they haven't been written about yet. And so when I went to Camp Popville, where I met you and our lovely Noah, and brought you guys the idea, like I'm so glad that it stuck out to y'all just like it stuck out to me. And I'm so glad that we were able to, bring it to life because it was such a therapeutic song to write for me because, of course, like I had gone through this breakup like a month prior. And I'm like sitting here with all these feelings and all these emotions, and I'm like, I just need to say that I'm single. Like, I don't know how to say that. Like, I just want to be like fresh and fun and all of that. And it was such a like cathartic song because it's so freeing, it's so free flowing, and it's just, it makes like being single sound fun. And being single is fun. Being single is great. But it's like I feel like right when you get out of a relationship, it's so scary because you're like, okay, I don't know what it's like to be single. And of course, like I was in a relationship for 4.5 years. Like I didn't know the first thing about being single. And so I'm sitting there being like, okay, well, did you know that I'm too hot to handle and I ask for too much? I'm just gonna quote my ex-boyfriend here because you know what? It's my song. I can do what I want. And so it was just such a fun song to write and release, and just the whole process was very just like I needed it. I needed it for like my mental health, for my peace of mind, and just having it out there for other people to listen to and to relate to is just really special.
Completely. And yeah, you came in with that idea. And just to give context for everyone listening, we had never met before. So literally, Kira, Noah, and we had gotten randomly paired together as part of this writing camp. And so when you like don't know people and you're in a room together for the first time, like it can be so intimidating to kind of share your ideas and like be vulnerable. And so I'm just so thankful you felt comfortable enough to kind of share what was going on in your life. But yeah, what a cool idea.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm so glad that you and Noah were just running with it. And because I come in hot and y'all are just like, absolutely, let's go for it. Let's do it. And Noah's like on his little computer and like you're sitting there, you're like, okay, tell me more. Tell me more. What's the story? Okay. And I'm like looking at this Google Doc that we're writing the song and it pages my whole life story down and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I have never had somebody listen to me this thoroughly before.
Okay, you are now like the second person that's commented on the pod, like how much. if you have not written with me before, I took a typing class in seventh grade, and thank God I did because I literally type every word that comes out of their mouths as like a as we're going because you never know when you're going to come back and use something later. And one thing I would definitely agree with your bio, like you use so many personal experiences in your lyrics, and you really try and take from your own life and like things that you've experienced to help craft a story that can still be relatable to other people. And so like we're like, yeah, what did the ex-boyfriend say? What did he used to complain about? Okay, let's throw it in there.
Yes, exactly. And I just think it's like more fun that way when you release stuff that you can personally relate to because then you have to perform the song that you release and of course like when you're on stage and if you're singing about something that you can't relate to, it's just naturally not going to be as good because you can't feel the emotion through it.
Totally. Is there a line from the song that's like a favorite of yours or one that you're like really proud of?
Oh God, I'm so proud of the whole thing. But honestly, the chorus and the bridge, I'm like going through the lyrics in my head right now. I would say the first few lines of the chorus where I go, "Did you know that I'm too hot to handle? I ask for too much. I talk with my hands and I never shut up." Where I'm just like,
Iconic.
that kills me every time. So
Yeah,
those were just lyric gold.
totally. My favorite line was I'm more funny when he's not there. I remember when we were like,
God.
that's like in the second verse. And I just remember when we got that line, and it's just like, that is so hilarious. Like when you feel like people have encroached in your personality, that you're like, I'm more free with them not there.
Yeah, well, the funny thing was, like, okay, story time, but like, I was talking to my sister on the phone probably like 2 or 3 weeks after my breakup, and she goes, Kira, you know what? I think since your breakup, you've gotten a lot more funnier. And I'm like, whoa, okay. And I have seen that like there have been multiple people that have come up to me who have known me like pre-breakup and post-breakup and have noticed just how much more my personality has come out now because I just I think before I was so afraid to like be more honest and everything and so now I'm just honest and direct and I'm still very nice but I think especially with like writing that song it helped me realize like okay like I need to get my feelings out there and I need to put myself first, which was my issue. Like I did not put myself first. And ever since realizing that, I'm like, okay, like who is this new Kyra Morgan? Like I want to know her.
Yeah. That's really cool. Like the self-discovery part of like rebuilding your life and like what does the next chapter look like? That's really cool. Another interesting thing I would say as a writer, this is the part that I find really fascinating because like we wrote the song and like in the room Noah was creating a track, but then essentially when we're done writing it, that's kind of like the end of the songwriter part of it. And then the bringing it to life through production, oftentimes the artist, in your case, you're working on that kind of like as a next step. And then we get to hear it when it's all said and done. And it's the coolest thing ever. But can you
Yes.
talk to us a little bit about what the production process was like? Like, did you have ideas in mind of how you saw, of what you thought it would sound like, or what you were hoping it would do? Or like, what was that like?
Yeah, so the lovely Corey Shore produced this song. I'm gonna shout him out. But going in, I definitely had a lot of ideas. Like I knew I kind of wanted to have some like, background telephony vocals in it, and just like I knew in the chorus I wanted breaking news to be like really shouty and really big. And so it was really nice going into the studio with Corey because of course we had a demo track. But he just kind of saw the vision come to life and he knew what components it needed, especially just through like what I explained to him and what I told him. And he like blew it out of the water. And I couldn't have asked for a better producer to do this song because I can't hear the song any other way now. And just like how meticulous he was with like making sure that like when we recorded vocals, we got like the little vocal intonations on certain words, and like the background vocals, like there are stacks upon stacks on this song, and making sure that like each stack has a purpose, and like all the ad libs in the bridge, like making sure that like those flowed cohesively. And just like he was such an advocate for me like during this whole process. And it was like it was very nice, because it was like, oh my gosh, like he really cares about this as much as I do. And just like seeing that amount of care put into a song was very nice, because it's like okay, it's my little song baby. Like I want to see it come to life, and I want to like see it flourish. And it was just such a fun process to like see it, from when we wrote it together all the way through like when I got the masters back and playing it for you in your car, and you being like, oh my God,
Freaking
this
out,
is
freaking out.
insane. So it was such a fun process. And like looking back, like I would do it all over again if I could, because it was just so fun. And I like mentally, like I needed it again, like I needed it for myself. And it was just, I feel like it really helped shape me as a better person and a better artist.
So cool. Yep, I selfishly did get to hear it before it was like released to the world. It's such a bop. It's going to be linked down below. If you haven't heard it already, what are you wasting your time? Like definitely need to go and check it out. And I think your story was such great advice for other artists, that you want people working on your projects who are just as excited about it as you are. Like hearing that Corey felt just as um interested and like was passionate to want to bring it to life in a way that felt great. Like you can tell as an artist or a creative when the people you're working with aren't that into the project, and you put so much of your heart and your soul and your time into it. It's you want to work with other people that care too.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And like, again, everybody in the music industry is like trying to make a living. And like, yeah, sometimes like you do have to take on projects just to make money, but it's finding those people who, yes, you are paying them for a product, but also like they have so much care because they love what they do. They want to give you a good product because their name is also going on this product now. And so just, trying to weed through the people who are only there for the money, and finding the ones that are very genuine and care a lot about what they're helping create.
So true. Okay, so I'm curious. We met at a writing camp. Was Have you ever been to a writing camp before, or was that your first one?
So I had been to one writing camp before, but it was more country based. And like while that was, fun, and it was like nice being there and I got songs out of it, the retreat that we went on was like totally life changing for me, because it was strictly pop people, or like people who were outside of the country genre. And so I felt like I got just so much knowledge from that weekend, and just I learned so much about myself. And like every person I meet, I'm like, oh my God, I went to this Popville writing retreat and I met these cool people and I can't believe it, and it changed my life. And so oh gosh, if I could like rewind time and go back on that writers retreat, I totally would, because just the songs that came out of that weekend, and just the friendships that were made, and then like the networking that happened was just like so like I never would have expected it.
Agreed. That was actually my first writing camp. I had not been to one before, so I had like no clue what to expect. But Nikki, if you're listening to this, girl, just clip that whole segment and I'll even send it to you if you want as a testimonial, because same here. It was such a great experience, and I loved that it was pop based, so that way you could like really hone in and kind of sink your teeth into that world. And um did walking in, did you were you hoping to get songs for yourself? Were you hoping just to like write a lot being there? Like did you have any particular goals?
So I went in very open-minded, because like I didn't know anybody going to that writers retreat, so it was more so just like showing up and meeting people. And of course, like I am an artist, so yes, like I expected, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in and I should bring some ideas, because I'm sure that I'll be writing for myself, but I'm also very open to writing for other people as well, just because I love kind of getting both sides of that artistry and that the songwriting and all that. But yeah, it was just like I just wanted to remain open-minded because I just truly did not know what to expect.
That's really, really cool. And so, definitely Breaking News is a cool song. You got to go check it out. Okay, Kiera, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Would you be open to being one of the first people to help me launch a new segment of the show?
Oh, yes. I don't know what it is, but I'm ready.
I knew you were the best person to bring this on. And so I've been playing around with this idea of it's called mic check. And it's like short, little, quick questions. It's kind of like what first comes to mind when I ask you a
Okay.
question. And it's kind of
Okay.
like you're checking the mic. You just want to make sure it's working before, your big show. And I was like, of all the people to pilot this with, I feel like you would be a fun one.
Yes. Oh gosh. I don't know what's gonna come out of my mouth, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, perfect. And so, how this is going to work is I'm going to ask you a couple questions. And this is just a great way for like listeners and fans to get to know you more as like a person and an artist. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. First question. You can put three things on your rider, which for anyone listening in, if you don't know what a rider is, if someone's playing a show, if an artist is going to a venue to play a show, they can have a rider, which is basically like a list of things that the venue has to provide for them in the green room or environmentally or whatever. So, what are the three things that you would put on your rider?
Oh my gosh. Okay. One, water, because hydration is important. And like, if you know me, like, I always have a water bottle with me, and that is so important to me. Two, a tequila shot with lime. Like, so before every full band show I have, I always take a shot of tequila. It's just like a thing that I do. Like right before my headline show a few months ago, like I have a video of me taking a tequila shot with my mom. So it's just like just a fun little thing. And then my third thing would definitely be like some sort of like snack where like I'm gluten free, so like I love like honey mustard, like gluten free pretzels. So like probably a little something to snack on, between sets, or I don't know. I I get so hungry where I'm like I'd be back there stuffing my face full of food before my set, be like, well, I hope nobody else wanted any of these.
We all need a snack. Let's be real. Those are long days.
Oh, exactly, exactly.
I love it. Okay. Next question. First concert you ever went to?
Ooh, Kelly Clarkson.
No, you did not.
How old was I? I was like 8. And my mom and I went, and I was like an avid concert goer when I was younger because my mom loved live music too. So her and I would like go to all these different concerts, but my first concert was Kelly Clarkson because I was or still am, a diehard Kelly Clarkson fan, and she was still in her like my life would suck without you era, and I ate it up as an 8-year-old.
I'm so jealous. Literally, she is on my bucket list of people I've never seen her play. I've never seen her perform, but I would love to go to a Kelly Clarkson concert.
Yes, no, it was fantastic.
Okay, like follow-up question. Who is the best concert you've ever seen?
Oh, that's a hard one. I would say, okay, this is more like personal for like personally. So I've only ever teared up at one concert, and that was when I went to a Julia Michaels concert, and Julia Michaels is like my idol. Like I look up to her just like songwriter wise and like artist wise. And I remember like looking down on stage, like, and I was like up in like the balcony area, and I was like, oh my God, that's gonna be me one day. And it was just like such a fun little moment where I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to do that. So just like as an artist myself, like watching her like interact with the crowd because like she does such a great job with just like making the audience feel included and just like interacting with them and making sure like her sets are super fun and just the way her songs are written are like just they appeal so much to the audience. And just relating to it and being like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. I want to not be her, but I want to be like, on the same path and everything.
That's so powerful. Got to speak it into existence. Like
Exactly.
there's a venue that I one day hope that a song that I've written gets to get played there because I
Okay.
went there growing up a lot. There's actually two in mind. And it's like you got to have those ones, you know?
Well, exactly. Well, what's the venue?
Okay, so I'm from Delaware. There are not many places to see music in Delaware. So Philadelphia is kind of close. So all the big concerts I saw growing up were at Wells Fargo, which is where the like hockey and basketball team play.
Yeah.
Like I saw Beyonce there, Maroon 5, like so many people. And like I hope one day a song that I helped to write gets to be played there one day, and that would be the sickest thing ever.
Oh, well, exactly. Got to speak it into existence.
Exactly. Okay, you mentioned Julia Michaels, so that might be your answer for this one, but just in case not, is there a dream collab, anyone dead or alive that you would love to work with?
Yeah, it is Julia Michaels. I think if I got to like write with her, I don't know what I would do. I would like pee my pants or do something out of like excitement where I'm like, I would literally freak out.
We got to make it happen one day.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, Julia, if you're watching this.
Hey, we can clip this too, send it to her, be like,
Yeah.
Julia, you have an amazing fan that you got to meet up with. What is your go-to guilty pleasure song?
Ooh, my go-to guilty pleasure song. Right now, I would say so I love listening to music in my car with like sunroof open, like windows down, driving down a highway. And the one song that like scratches that like highway driving like song itch, I guess is a good way to put it, is Enchanted by Taylor Swift. So
It's a go-to.
I don't know like why right now it's just always on repeat whenever I'm like on the highway. I'm like this night, but it just
Please don't be in love with some. You got to scream it, right?
yes,
Like,
exactly, which I think it's just more cathartic than anything to just be like, oh my God, be like, yes. It's like, go Taylor.
go Taylor. Speaking of Taylor, we have so much restraint right now because Taylor Swift literally just dropped the name and a podcast episode of her newest upcoming album, and we have the restraint. We're holding off to go watch it. So shout out Tay. We're about to find out soon.
Yeah, exactly. The suspense is killing us.
Okay, to wrap up the mic check section, you've been in Tennessee for a while, in Nashville for almost a year now, or a little over a year. Do you have a best hidden gem spot in Nashville?
Ooh, are we talking like food wise, bar wise,
Oh, you
like
can hit me with both if you have different answers for them.
oh my gosh, okay. Let's see. So, okay, I'll give you a venue, a food place, and a bar.
Yes.
So, venue wise, gotta plug the Flamingo Cocktail Club. I had my headline show there in June, but it's just such a fun place for people who, don't really do country music or enjoy listening to anything other than country music to go and just meet super cool people, listen to great music. Like, there are some underground artists that I've seen there that I'm like, how are you not famous? So, catching them before they blow up. Um, Let's see, food wise, there is a sushi place on Broadway. And I think it's called like Blue Sushi and Grill. I could be mistaken, but I know it starts with Blue. But it's over by like Assembly Food Hall. But since I'm gluten free, most of the times like sushi isn't gluten free. And so I found a place that has gluten free sushi and it is fantastic. So that's definitely a must try. And then bar wise, so I have like recently branched out, well not recently, but like I feel like once you live in Nashville you don't really want to frequent like Broadway or Midtown, or like you go there when you're like feeling some type of way, and most of the time I'm not feeling some type of way. So I've slowly checked out other places, but a favorite right now has been Mother's Ruin over in Germantown. And it has been super cool. Like every time I go there, I feel like I have just like such a fun experience. Of course, it's like who you go with, but everybody there is very authentic, which is nice. Just like everybody that I've run into or just met there is, most of the time from Nashville too, which is good. So like, if the locals are going, it's good. But yeah, definitely a must try if you're ever in Nashville.
I love it. That has been, I have not tried Mother's Ruin. I actually don't make my way over to Germantown too often, but I'll have to add it to the list. Like all of the above, I need to add it to the list.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's the vibes are super cool.
Oh my gosh. Well, it has been such a blast getting to chat with you. Breaking news is out now. What is coming next for Kyra Morgan?
Oh, so much. I have really been focused on like rebranding and growing my fan base this year. And so that means a lot of posting on social media and a lot of kind of like figuring out who I am as an artist, as well as what my sound is and where I want it to go. So kind of looking forward to the future. You're definitely getting a lot more sassy pop songs. So stay tuned for stuff you can dance to, stuff that you can, play while you're driving in the car down the highway with your sunroof open and all of that. So I cannot wait to see what the rest of this year holds.
That's so exciting. We're going to get our own version of Akira Morgan Enchanted, hopefully. Our version that we can shout out to the rooftops as
We'll
we're
see.
driving
We'll
by.
see.
Oh my gosh. Well, Kira, thank you so much for coming on the So Rude podcast. It has been such a blast getting to chat with you.
Of course. Thank you again so much for having me. I'm so glad that we were able to make this happen.
Me too. Okay, so every time I have a guest on the show, I always end with the same final question, which is, what is one thing you would tell your younger self?
Ooh, one thing that I would tell her that to be patient because everything will work out the way that it's supposed to.
I love it. Powerful advice that we can all take with us. Kira, if people are interested in following along with you and keeping up to date with your journey and all your music, where can people find you online?
So you can find me on all streaming platforms under Kyra Morgan, and then on Instagram and TikTok, you can find me at Kyra Morgan Music. And yeah, come follow along, come see what's going on. You'll have an endless stream of free entertainment, which is, what I'm all about.
And if you're looking for the really funny memes where people use songs in the most creative ways with the funniest captions, you got to follow Kira on TikTok because I get my daily dose of laughs just by scrolling through her page. And if you are not already following the So Rude podcast, please make sure to tune in and follow us on whatever platform that is, whether that's Apple Podcasts or Spotify. YouTube, we have the video version up there for people that enjoy having the visuals as part of the conversation too. And if you follow us on Instagram at sorude.podcast or TikTok at the same name, that just helps the show continue to grow, which allows us to bring on the most incredible guests and artists and creatives who are willing to share their story with us and give us tips and tricks that we can incorporate into our own lives. So your support in that way truly means a lot. Make sure to go stream Breaking News by Kyra Morgan. It is out there. You can listen to it now and tune in with everything Kyra has going on. Make sure to follow her. And as always, have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll chat again soon. Bye now.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with every episode. See you next time.